I got a new camera. Can you tell? To me, it looks insanely higher quality, but that's also because I was kind of filming on a potato. So I wanted to make a quick video because I have a couple that I'm working on that are gonna take longer, but I feel like this one I can shoot in one go and post it, so that way I'll have something out and I can have this off my mind, because otherwise I'm just sitting here like just turning all the things I want to do around my head and then not actually doing them. So this one I'm just gonna do it so I can get it off my mind. And also talk about these things while they're still fresh. Because what I want to talk about is the 4 plays I saw in 4 weeks. Late December through January. And that is these ones. Can you tell I'm posing for a thumbnail? No, you can't, because I'm so subtle. So as you can maybe saw, because it was the first one there, I'm going through these chronologically. I saw Waiting for Godot at the Theater for a New Audience, which is either a part of or just across the street from BAM. I thought it was a part of it, but now I'm not sure. Although I'm gonna say this playbill isn't helping. For such a cool play, this is just like, I don't know, it reads like a school. Like, does everyone hate graphic design all of a sudden? Did you not have an illustrator you could hire? Ugh. This is the first time I've seen this play being performed. I'm not super familiar with Samuel Beckett, but I have seen a couple of his stuff, like his plays before. I do know it's very easy for his plays to kind of turn into chaos. And this was really interesting because while there were parts of it that were chaotic, it was so purposeful. It was like when you're in high school and you're trying to read Shakespeare, like from the page, and it just does not make sense, but then you see someone speaking Shakespeare in a monologue and you're like, oh, that's what he meant. Like, you've given the emphasis, the way they formulate the words, it carries it, and now you understand it. But it doesn't make sense on the written word. That's kind of how I felt watching this, where I was like, they are making it so understandable and like comprehensive. The nonsense speech that Lucky says when they're asking him to speak, he's kind of the fool character, was so funny and like made sense. Which they had one of the reviews, they had placards of reviews kind of throughout the lobby, and one of them was like, that speech has never made sense to me before, but that time I understood it perfectly, and I was like, I feel it, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Apart from that, of particular note, the 2 lead actors, so Michael Shannon and Paul Sparks, excellent jobs on both of them. They do such a good job as the main characters. Michael Shannon, you know what he's like. He was cast to play the kind of dour, angry one, and Paul Sparks is kind of the happy-go-lucky, clownish one, and they both fit that so well. Complaints, I was sitting front row. The whole stage was kind of like this big walkway with rows on either side of it, and there were balcony seats, but there's only like 3 rows when you're down by the main road, which is what the walkway kind of was. And I was in the front row, and I don't know if it was where we were sitting or what, but man, I saw a lot of Michael Shannon's toes. He's walking around barefoot, or like one barefoot for a lot of it, and I don't know if they made his feet look like that or what they did, but they were fucked up looking. Like, it looked like, I'm gonna try to show you, like his big toe got like glued like that to his second toe, and I was like, the whole time I was nothing but staring at it like, that better be fake. Like, they better have glued that, and that's not how it naturally is. Also, God, his toenails, but I guess he's a method actor. You might have legitimately have nails like that, I don't know. Excellent play, terrible graphic design. Got to meet Michael Shannon and Paul Sparks at the end of it. It was pretty cool. Paul Sparks was smoking outside, so didn't hang around that much. And Michael Shannon introduced himself by saying, "Hi, I'm Mike." Like, we were like, "Yeah, we know, buddy." And then Michael Shannon said that the guy I am named for, Thelonious Monk, was his favorite person alive. Not alive. Favorite person ever? He did specify apart from his children, so... His children make the list. Children, Thelonious Monk. I also would love to talk to him way more about it, because, like, specifically what about Monk, but... whatever. Second play. Death, Let Me Do My Show by Rachel Bloom. So this was exciting. It got brought back, like, from the original run. And it was kind of downtown near Veselka, which, by the way, I haven't been to Veselka since the pandemic, and they are doing stupid good. Like, I was worried about them because they were taking donations at one point, and there were worries that they were going to have to close down. There was a massive line, and, like, outside seating, outside heated seating, inside seating, and there was a line the whole time we were there. Also, God, I forgot how good their latkes are. Also, giant framed picture of Zelensky on the wall. In case you don't know, Veselka is like a super old 1950s Ukrainian restaurant in downtown Manhattan. It's like one of the places to go, honestly, if you're visiting New York, and if you're in that area. And it was literally down the block from this, the theater, which is also where Stomp ran for like 20 years, which I saw when I was like 6, so I must have been in that theater before, but I do not remember it. This play, I went into it not knowing anything about it. My partner had seen it before and was like, "You're gonna love it. I'm not telling you anything about it." So I was completely taken aback when, not 15 minutes into the show, a guy in the audience starts like yelling at her on the stage, like, "Oh, do this." And turns out it was part of the bit. I didn't know that. I thought I was witnessing something cool. I also had a hard time kind of, and I can't tell if it was a processing or a hearing issue, like, I don't know. There's a, because the person heckling is supposed to be deaf, and that's the thing about this show, it's Death, Let Me Do My Show. She wants to do a show that was written before the pandemic, and she wants to do it like it would have been before the pandemic, without thinking about death and all the things that have happened since then. But Death is in the audience and is like, "You can't forget about me, sing about me, do songs about me." But like when the guy who's playing Death first said, who is White Josh, by the way, "I'm deaf," I thought he said, "I'm deaf," and I was like, why is the man from the audience yelling up that he's deaf? I don't get it. And then it processed that he was saying deaf like 5 minutes later, and I was like, gotcha. Favorite parts, I loved the Rainbow Bridge song. I'm obsessed with the Etsy art she commissioned of her dog. I can't really say more than that. I think they're getting it filmed, like she's gonna film it and then it can be released somewhere online, which is great because I want to experience a lot of that again. A lot of that play was so like, it was coming at me so fast that I was just like, and just enjoying the moment, you know? But great, beautiful, bought some merch at the end. Loved it. She also took her shoes off, so I was 2 for 2 at that point for seeing feet on stage. Which brings me to my next one. I was really hoping I would see Danny DeVito's feet on stage, just because I was like, at that point, that would be a 3 for 3, and I think that would have just been funny if I just saw a lot of toes that season. I swear I'm not into feet. I find feet kind of gross, if I'm honest, but like, it would just be funny. It's just troll foot. I was like, if anyone's gonna show their toesies, it's gonna be Danny DeVito. It was not. It was not Danny DeVito. He did not show his toes. This play was also not great. So the premise of this play is Danny DeVito is a hoarder. That's kind of it. He is essentially, like, there's a time limit type deal where one of his neighbors reported him and the fire department is going to visit, and if his apartment is still, like, in a hoarding situation, they could evict him. So there's, like, a time pressure thing. Danny DeVito's, like, real-life actual daughter plays his daughter in the play, And I think that would have been cute if she wasn't in it so much. I love you, Lucy DeVito. You're not the best actress in the world. It's insane because I'm like, Danny DeVito, I will watch him do kind of anything. There is a scene in here where he plays Sorry with just himself, playing all the pieces of Sorry, and I could watch him do that for another 2 hours. In fact, one of my main problems with this play is that it felt really short. It ended and it was like, that's it. And I thought it was the intermission because I was like, it didn't get a resolution, like a satisfying one. Because what happens is that he has some sort of revelation, the fact that he's hoarding because he misses his wife. And he's just like, I'm fixed. And he just starts throwing everything away. And I was like, that's not how you fix that. And I was fully expecting it to be a situation where you think it's better by the end of the second act or the first act, and then there's an intermission. Second act, he relapses, but like it's like there's a relapse before like the final detox or something like that, where they learn to compromise. But no, this man, the first and only act, tossed everything in his fucking house and then is like, and that's good forever. My daughter's moving to North Dakota, or whatever fucking state they were talking about, and I'm emotionally healed in my empty ass house. Also, is it bad that I liked his house more when there was all that shit in it? Probably. But I choose not to look at that part of myself. That's not something I need to think about right now. No toes. Stupid resolution. Danny DeVito is great. You can skip this one. Unless you, like, just want to see Danny DeVito on stage. In which case, God bless. Go for it. So my fourth and last play is Volcano. Now, this was... What theater was this? St. Anne's Warehouse is Attic Projects. I found it because I'm a member of the Irish Arts Center because I took fiddle classes there, like, twice when I was in high school. And then once in 2016 after college. But I don't really keep up with their programming, but I heard about this, and it kind of sounded insane. They were like, it's like a mini-series as a play. It has dancing and like multimedia. And I was like, oh, intriguing. The website gives me no info, except for the fact that it's long as hell. On the website, they were like, it's 4 parts is what they call it. All of them are 45 minutes. There's 5-minute pauses after the 2 first ones, and then a 20-minute intermission. What I thought they meant was that like we were able to go and like stretch our legs every 20 minutes, but no, they were like, you have to stay in your seats. After the second part, there was some sort of revolution. Like everyone was like, "Fuck you, I'm going to piss," and they just left. And I was like, it's an hour and a half at this point. Fair play. If I wind up staying here long, though, I'll be pissed. I think the Irish Arts Center is involved because the writer-director is Irish, Luke Murphy, who is also behind, he's also one of the original characters, or he was involved in Sleep No More, somehow. I can't remember exactly how now. But, it was... I don't really know how to explain this one. Okay, I'll explain to you like this. The play is a blend of science fiction and dance. And the first 10 minutes of it made me think, oh, I'm stupid. And also, I think I hate modern dance. This was something that I got out of, but they really started with, like, the slowest fucking shit that made me think, oh my god, I'm going to hate this. I don't know why you would start off with, like, a 5-minute piece where people are really slowly rolling around a room. It is what they chose to do. So, you know what? God knows. I also did a little drawing of what the stage setup was like. And at the beginning of each play, they had a little video thing that was giving you, like, context clues. I wrote down, I think this was after the first part, they were doing a trivia thing, and I wrote down what the trivia was about because I was like, these seem like they're going to be themes, and they were. So it was the Mars rover, time capsules, lighthouse keepers, and deep sea divers. So essentially, and I'm going to try to explain this as best I can. The play is about these two people who signed up to be voyagers on like a space mission where they get shot up into space with all this memory and stuff that people can kind of load up in it like a time capsule, or one of those things they sent out that's like, if you find this, this is what humans are, and it's like Tchaikovsky and the Vitruvian Man, stuff like that. But it's people can pay, put whatever they want in it, and it's being watched by these two people who get woken up. I think they're in cryo sleep, they get woken up, I think they said every 7 hours or something like that, or 7 hours a day, and the rest of the time they're supposed to be like completely under. So they kind of do a rotation and then come back to Earth. When this is starting, when the play starts, there's already something wrong. You get like an audio message that's like, there's an error, and they disconnect eventually, I think in the second act. So these people, they're kind of going through the motions, they're doing these dances, they're doing these like monologues, they're doing songs and bits with each other, but they don't seem to know why. They're very like programmed going through it. And you find out that it's because they're in this thing, they're going through the motions of all the songs and memories and audio clips that were uploaded to this space shuttle, or whatever you want to call it. But there's a problem and they're not going back to sleep. So they're stuck. They're supposed to be like 7 hours on and then off for 16 or whatever, and then on again and then off again. And they're not going back down. So they're starting to like get fried. They go off trajectory at one point. And so like the whole thing is kind of falling apart. And one of them is having visions of a deep sea diver, and kind of, I don't really know how to explain this, vanishes through a radio, like, Eraserhead was really the vibes I was getting with the radiator. I'm not really sure how to explain the ending, because I'm not sure exactly what happens in the ending, because, there's a reveal of their dead bodies on stage. And they've been under this platform the whole time, and then they break out of the space. So I'm like, so they're projections who are breaking free, or are they real people, or are they real people projected onto something? I don't fucking know. I'm gonna be honest, it's one of those sci-fi things where I think it's more fun if you don't know. But yeah, I had a good time. Once again, they started with the most boring part. Bold move of them. I really enjoyed it. I do think some of the dance lagged a bit for me personally, but I got more into it as it went. Those dudes are super jacked and strong, and I can understand why they were only doing a limited run, because by the end of it they were both sweating so hard. But they were very cool. A lot of homoeroticism, a lot of, are they fighting? Are they fucking? Are they... What's the vibe here? And then we went out and I had the best pizza I've ever had. So honestly, pretty good month. I don't really have any plans to see anything right now. December was a big month for me because, one, everyone's on holiday or preparing for the holiday, so they want to go see things, but also it's my birthday month, so kind of all my different family units wanted to go to see things, so like, saw it with my dad, saw it with my partner, saw it with my mom, also my mom. It was, you know, a fun month. Hope to see more. Hope to upload more. Did you guys see any of these? Or want to see any of these? It's one of those weird things where I'm like, New York is so inaccessible for people who don't live in New York, a lot of ways, and even though, I mean, these ones I got for, this one I got for super cheap, like 30 bucks. This one, we knew people, so I don't really know how much we charged for that. Also, it was a birthday present, so I'm not gonna ask. Also a birthday present, I'm not gonna ask. And I think this one was like 40 bucks. So, but theater is such a weird thing to review because you're like, I don't have footage. I can't record shit. And it's also, I don't know if I don't have the language to explain a lot of it. Like, I'm a lit major. I didn't study theater. I don't have the language to describe what movements or things certain do. I'm just going off vibes. But yeah, that's my 4 plays I saw in 4 weeks. Let me know if you guys saw anything cool over the holidays. And if you saw any of these, I would love to know your opinion because I am a nosy bitch. Alright. Bye.